uniting communities throughout the sticks. This is Urban Definition with your hosts Sassan, Kareem, and Zayn on CHHA 1610.
Uniting communities. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Urban Definition. Tonight I'm joined, as per usual, by my co-host, Mr. Zayn Jinnah.
Hey, everybody.
And Mr. Sassan Mirzai.
Hi, guys.
How's your week been, guys?
It's been interestingly slow and fast at the same time. Does that make sense?
I suppose that sort of makes sense.
Like, it's not going fast enough, but then it's not super slow.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that one.
I don't know. How about you, Sass?
It's been pretty awesome. So many new shows are coming out this week, and Pokemon Go came out yesterday, so...
Okay, hold on. Rewind for a second, because Pokemon Go is going to take quite a while to talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Tech Talk, but
What TV shows are you talking about? Because I am, legit, snooze fest with the TV lineup right now.
Oh no, it's like the anime market.
Okay, like what?
Food Wars, Shokugeki no Soma.
Okay.
It's like one of the biggest animes of last year. Season 2 just came out on Saturday.
Okay.
And then for English viewers, One Punch Man has finally been translated to English.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I was never a
amazing.
One Punch Man fan to begin with.
But you haven't even watched it yet.
I've watched the first episode, and I'm not a fan.
Oh, that's terrible.
I mean, I'm not trying to knock the show. I'm just not a huge, fan of the franchise.
I thought it's a hilarious concept because it's like making fun of Superman, really.
Fair enough.
To be honest, I'm kind of with Kareem here because I watched a little bit of it. Someone posted it on my wall, and I just could not follow. And I thought, okay, I'll laugh because it's supposed to be funny, but I really didn't find it, hilarious.
I don't know. I thought it was funny because it's like a superhero who's just so strong, can kill everything in one hit, but no one knows who he is.
Well, I recently got into Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, and the season isn't over yet, but they haven't released additional episodes, so I believe there's maybe 11 or 12 episodes max that have come out so far, and it starts off a little bit slow, and your typical anime, it is a little bit repetitive, but I don't know, so far it seems to be pretty good, so I think I'm probably going to stay on track with that one.
Interesting.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I think that's a common trait when it comes to me watching anime. I tend to go for the stuff that a lot of people don't necessarily watch. I'm still, to date, my favorite is probably Baki Grappler, which to this day, Sassan's I don't know what that is.
Yep, no idea.
Hey, you know what today is?
What is today?
Today's Eid.
Eid Mubarak!
Eid Mubarak, everyone who's celebrating with us. Kareem and I are Muslim, as people may know, so Eid Mubarak, everyone, from our behalf. We hope everyone has a blessed day today.
You know what's a scary thought?
No.
Do you know what this year's Eid Mubarak is? What it's called?
No.
Eid Kareem.
Oh, interesting.
That is such a weird, I only realized that yesterday when people started posting all over social media, Eid Mubarak Kareem, and I was like, wow, you guys are so nice, thank you. And then I realized these are not Photoshop images that people are making with my name on it. This is legit what this year's Eid is called.
What's it mean?
What does Kareem mean?
No, why are they saying Eid Mubarak Kareem? Why is it called Kareem this year?
Kareem, I believe, is one of the English translations for the word God. Like Allah, it's one of his human names from my understanding.
So one of the 99 names?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, so it's Eid for God.
True.
So it's not there's nothing really special. It's still for God. It just happens to say Kareem right now, which is pretty dope.
You must feel pretty good today, I gotta say.
I don't, and I'm not going to go into a giant rampage and go off on a tangent here, but this has been one of the few Eids or fasting months that I don't really feel very proud of because of a lot of the chaos that has been ensuing around the world, and especially a lot of the Muslims who are going through, a lot of heartache and literally are left with nothing on Eid.
You know what? I was having similar thoughts because I've seen, from not just from you, but from other people posting, from news and such, a lot of the attacks that have happened in the last month, and you just think it's supposed to be a very religious month, especially for an extremist group that claims, they're believers and all this other stuff, and then they go and do this, and it's like, this is the time for reflection and sacrifice and things like that, and this is what you're going to do to your own kind of community, the community that you claim to represent.
I think we had a similar conversation a few weeks ago on air when we were talking about, or maybe it was off air, and I had made the comment that now is the time when ISIS, won't be attacking because it's Ramadan, and now is the time for fasting, and you're not a Muslim if you're committing acts of terror during Ramadan, and look where we are now.
And that's even crazier. What was happening a couple days ago, the attack on the Prophet's Mosque in Medina.
Yeah.
Which, for those of you who don't know, is like between there and Mecca, where the Prophet used to go for a pilgrimage, are two very holy cities in Islamic history. And so, because they're so sacred grounds, imagine and I hope this never happens, but imagine for those of you who are Christian, for example, having something happen at the Vatican. You'd be like, why? What is going on? Like, I thought this was such sacred and holy ground. Well, that's exactly what Medina is, and ISIS goes and puts bombs during Ramadan, which is a very holy month. So, as you can imagine, there's a lot of devastation and a lot of questions that people are asking, and this is a really good time to look at it now and say, is this group really what it claims to be, or is it, as Kareem and people like Kareem and I have been saying all along, are they really just politically driven, using religion as a mask to go and commit their crimes?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway from this is whether it's our listeners, non-Muslim, Muslim listeners, the biggest thing is ask yourself, now is the time to question. This is the time when all Muslims are supposed to be united. This is the time for peace. This is the time for reflection. Is ISIS really Muslim if they're committing acts of terror during a time when Muslims identify as, peaceful times and reflective times? And not only that, but if you're going to attack, the entire religion's prophets' place of, I wouldn't necessarily call it worship, but, his domain, and we all identify it as a sacred area, if you're going to attack that place, does that really reflect on you being a Muslim?
It's very contradictory, isn't it?
It absolutely is. With that being said, because I don't want to get too emotional over this topic, what else is going on in the world today?
So on Sunday was the Gay Pride Parade.
Yes, it was.
And it was historic by so many different means, right?
It absolutely was.
I mean, you had the mayor of the city, who, by the way, if you remember, Rob Ford never went to a pride parade.
Right.
You have Kathleen Wynne, who herself is lesbian and identifies with the community.
Right.
And then for the first time in history, you have Justin Trudeau, the first sitting prime minister to attend pride parade.
Was he the first?
The very first. That's why everyone was making it such a big deal.
He really is a social, I'll say social phenomenon.
I honestly just loved all the memes that were happening on the internet because of it. Because he saw pictures of Trump being like, I'm racist, I hate all these people.
Meanwhile,
you see Justin Trudeau running, laughing in the streets in a gay pride parade. It was great.
Yeah, I've seen things like that too.
I feel like the Liberal Party, Tory aside, well, so we're talking about Wynne and Trudeau right now, have done a really good job, and I think it has nothing really to do with Kathleen Wynne for me. I think it's more so Justin Trudeau and the people that he surrounded himself with have done a magnificent job at socially promoting himself. When I hear people talk about Justin Trudeau these days, I don't hear very much talk about politics. I hear about, aside from he's attractive, okay, I get that. But I get the whole social, he's doing push-ups, he's advocating for this community, this person's rights, that person's rights. Not the political stuff, but just the social stuff.
Do you remember last week when Mexico's president was here?
Was he here, or did they go to Mexico?
No, they were here for the summit.
Oh, was it here? Okay.
So Justin Trudeau was seen running with him in the morning. They were going for a jog.
Right. And
things like that. And
I honestly think that I think he took notes from Obama, because if you remember when Obama first took over office, he hired, do you remember Cal Penn? I believe that was his name. Kumar from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, Cal Penn.
Yeah, and he hired Cal as his like social, like what would you call it? Not liaison, but like a coordinator, basically,
Interesting.
to help educate him and you know, guide him in the right direction to, you know, all the social components. And I mean, it's not just Cal. I'm sure there's a whole group and team of people who have helped. But I mean, I see a lot of what Obama did when he started in office. I see that happening with Trudeau. And it's a lot less talk of politics, which may not necessarily be a good thing, but it definitely is a lot more social. And in that regard, from a social standpoint, we're definitely being put on the, not just the political map, but we're also being put on the global map, because a lot of people now identify and they can see Justin Trudeau and say, hey, that's the guy from Canada.
Yeah, now we're no longer Drake's country. But there was something at Pride Parade as well. There was the protest by Black Lives Matter Toronto.
Yes,
which
there was.
Really took, I mean, it only lasted, 30 minutes? But it took a lot of media by storm, and I think that was a huge focus this week. Like, everyone was talking about it. You have blogs, you got writers, newspapers. Everyone had an opinion on it, and it was very interesting because of the whole parade. 30 minutes of whatever happened took over and like kind of took away the spotlight on what Pride Parade was.
That's true. It did. And I mean, I understand, like, the whole Black Lives Matter thing was there's you're taking away from this, you're taking away from that, and their big demand that, and I think is kind of hitting everywhere right now in terms of the social media focus, is the elimination of the Toronto police float and overall presence at the Pride. And I am not entirely in favor of that myself. I mean, paid duty officers aside, because that's something that all parades and events have to have, is your paid duty officers. But think about all of the police officers who identify within the LGBTQT community.
Yeah.
And now what you're doing is, in eliminating their float, you're pretty much taking away their rights. Sure, they're police officers, and yes, I understand the raids that took place, and I understand the inequality and the things that took place that contribute to you now saying they need to go. But at the same time, they are people, and they do have they need to have a presence as well.
I agree with you, and I think that's something we can touch upon later was how we agree or disagree, in fact, with their tactics and kind of everything that stands. And I think a big recap, a lot of opinions that I've heard is, I don't agree with them, and I haven't heard much support in favor of what they've done, apart from members themselves. Of course, it'd be very hard to talk about this subject without someone from Black Lives Matter Toronto. But yeah, just the same as you're saying, I agree with you in that aspect of, this is a Pride Parade in itself, is a civil rights march, I should say.
Yep.
Which they were the guests of honor, so it's kind of ironic that this all happened.
Yes, it is.
Saz, did you get anything from it, or?
I just heard it was like a lot of bullying from their part.
Okay. Well, I mean, hopefully we can touch on it a little bit more, after.
Definitely, yeah, and that is going to be our next topic after the break as well, anyway, and we'll introduce that as it is. But hey, for those of you at home, let us know your thoughts, or go to our website. Actually, no, you can't go to our website. It's down right now. Go to our Facebook page if you have it. Just type in Urban Definition in the search bar, and let us know what your thoughts are. Comment or post. Use the hashtag Urban Definition, and let us know your thoughts on any of the events that have happened throughout the week that we've talked about or not.
For sure. We'll be back, guys, after this commercial break.
Urban Definition. On CHHA 1610. Urban Definition. On CHHA 1610.
Welcome back to Urban Definition. So are we going to go back on what we were talking about?
Well, let's transition into it a little bit better. And by that, I mean, now is our portion of the show that we like to call hashtag Real Talk.
Real talk.
I have no song for that one. I really don't.
You still have to make one. What is this?
I know, apparently. You have to deal with the song, so now I have to concoct a song as well. But before we continue, this is what I'm going to get into. The question and it will touch on, because I'm sure it's going to get into the occurrences of pride. But the general topic for today's Real Talk is how to swim in a hypersensitive society. So by that, I'm referring to the fact that nowadays a lot of people consider not just Canada, but, global scale to be very hypersensitive. Everybody is oversensitive. Everybody is offended. Everybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Well, we know what you mean.
We know what you mean, but do our listeners know what I mean?
I hope so. Okay, explain your gist a bit.
In
a little
essence,
bit more.
what today's Real Talk is about how to wade the waters, how to navigate in a world where everything and anything that you say can be considered, it'll become overanalyzed and what's the word I'm looking for there? Analyzed to the scrutinized to the point where at least somebody is going to be offended by what you say. And in that, the first question is, what are the general do's and do nots when, not necessarily speaking, but it could be something as simple as posting something on social media or out and about at a party. What are the do's and don'ts of what you can and cannot say? How do you know the difference?
That's a very interesting question, actually, and I'm glad we're having this conversation today. Sass, do you want to start off or no?
It's really tough. I usually just imagine myself in their scenario, and then if it sounds bad or if it sounds very South Park, that I just try and avoid it.
Okay, that's interesting. So what do you mean South Park?
Like, whenever something new to pick on comes out, you immediately start hitting on that.
Okay. So you try to be empathetic. Is that what I'm getting?
Basically, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I would say that it can't really be avoided all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's an aspect of, if you're going to be honest about a subject, whether you're talking to your peers, your friends, or random strangers, and you have an opinion and you want to make it known, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that it's unavoidable to always never offend somebody. Because think about, like, anything you do, someone could find offensive. Truthfully, right? If I said let's say I said I don't appreciate Black Lives Matter, for example, who's going to get offended? Everyone who supports the movement, right?
Of course.
If I said I'm completely for it, who's going to be against it? Everyone who is against it already. Then an interesting point. So there was a guy I know on Facebook, a guy I went to high school with, and he always rips on Black Lives Matter. He doesn't believe in the cause. He thinks it's a little bit unnecessary because of, they're trying to copy the United States ones, but he says that the issues are not as real. Now, here's the problem. He's white, right? We're like, none of us are black here. So none of us are a part of the community. None of us experience their hardships, the reasons that they're going for this, the reasons that Black Lives Matter is even happening. So for us to say, the issues are not as real or not as existent, I think is ignorant on our part. Who are you going to offend? You're going to offend everyone who lives that experience because they know it to be real. So there's that. And then there's people who are going to comment on his posts and say, oh, you're racist, or you're this, or you're that. But he keeps going because to him, that's his truth. So I don't think you can really avoid it. And that's just one example. And there's so many. But look at politics today, for example. We're all always trying not to offend people. There's always all this talk about political correctness. But at some point, when you're addressing the truth about something, somebody's going to be offended. And I don't think you could really avoid it. I think the best thing you could do, as Sassan said, was try to be as empathetic as possible, but let them know where you stand.
Okay. So for you, you're saying, because the next question was going to be, is it really possible to say something without offending someone? So flat out, you're saying, no, it's impossible. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Oh, 100%.
Sass?
But that's just how humans are. You need to talk to people, you need to figure it out. Then once you know what offends someone, you learn not to do it later.
Okay, I see what you're... Yeah, That's an interesting way to look at it. And I mean, you're not wrong in saying that. I sort of agree with you. For me, I think it's the fact that I see a lot of this generation being, well, not just this generation, but people growing up in this generation. Everybody wants to be a part of everything. And I think it's because when we were younger, we were excluded from certain things. And now it's just everybody wants to be a part of everything. When I say that, I'm talking about conversations and all. It's now when you're having a conversation with, someone on the bus, it's you, me, and the guy behind me that are all talking in this conversation. And when you're having these conversations, you can no longer just give your opinion, because now you have to be so mindful of the guy behind me is about to comment. The lady across from me is listening attentively to my conversation. And it really is such a tough world to navigate through right now, because you now have all of these different classes, races, ethnicities, ideologies that are inevitably going to conflict with each other in some way, shape, or form, but they all want in on the conversation. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, this reminds me of what happened on Reddit, because there was a news article that happened where a Muslim guy got shot outside a mosque, and it was like the headline. And everyone on Reddit was complaining about, hey, why did you have to say it was a Muslim guy? And they dissected the article and didn't blame anyone, and they were basically just blaming the news story, telling everyone to wait for facts. And it just made me have so much faith in humanity to see people get together and not go and blame people immediately for what happened. It was just, I don't know.
It's funny because when I think about this topic, I think the first thought that comes to mind is an SNL skit that had come out. Actually, well, they redo it a few times with different hosts and whatnot. But basically, it's the whole concept of it's like a game show skit, and it is, should you weigh in? And basically, it's not Keenan Wayne.
Key and Peele?
No, you're thinking, no, not Key and Peele. I'm talking about, he's on SNL.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I want to say Thompson or something.
Yeah, it's like Keenan Thompson, basically. And he's the host of the show, and he basically says, for example, like, you are a stay-at-home mom, and the topic is gay marriage in Africa. Should you weigh in? And all they have to say is no to win the game. And it's funny because sometimes they'll get really close and be like, no, that's not something I know too much about, because, and then go into it, and then you hear the buzzer, and you lose. So yeah, that is the perfect example of the society that we live in right now.
I think it's natural, though, and Sassan, you just said that too, but it is natural human nature to want to be involved in something, even if it has nothing to do with you, because you always feel your voice needs to be validated, and a lot of us are like that. And I think social media plays a huge role in that, but take this for example, okay? Remember one time you posted on my wall, this is when I first started dating my girlfriend, and you were saying, I haven't seen any pictures, I'm going to put you on blast. Between you and I, we knew this was a joke.
Yeah, of course.
And someone comments and it says, he doesn't have to, and started speaking for me for no reason, because I don't know why. I didn't get to see this post until hours later, and she goes, you didn't need to.
How dare you comment and leave that comment?
He doesn't need to validate it or anything because of you, blah, blah. And I was like, what is going on? I know it's a joke between me and Kareem. I was going to hit him back with, where's your picture or something just as dumb. But again, what's the need to weigh in?
Yeah.
And even if it's just like you said, the conversation on the bus, now it's translated online where you post something publicly for fun between two people because you want others to see it. Everyone's going to weigh in anyway. Because you can never not offend someone.
Yeah, like I said, it's you, me, and the guy behind me.
Yeah, you want the likes, basically, if it's online. Like Yik Yak and Reddit and Imgur.
That's true.
You post so you can get up votes, and it's just, I don't know, feels good.
There is that aspect of it too. But it comes down to the same thing. It's never just a private conversation anymore.
That's true.
Whether it's out loud in public or online somewhere.
But as per usual, we like to hear what your thoughts as a listener are. So please, Zayn, give us the social media inputs and let people know where they can post about this topic.
Yeah, for sure. Go to Urban Definition on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Urban Definition. And we've posted, can you really say anything without offending anyone these days? Comment below and use the hashtag Urban Definition. But yeah, comment below. Let us know your thoughts because this is a very important conversation to have these days. And we'll be back after this commercial break.
This is Urban Definition. Urban Definition. On CHHA 1610.
Welcome back to Urban Definition, everyone. And now it's time for Kareem's favorite segment of the day.
Yeah. Here we go. Tech Talk.
No chocolate.
I have to say, I was listening to this in post-production when I was editing the audio clips.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I'm sorry, Kareem.
Oh my god.
What can I say? Puberty hit at some point.
It's actually not bad until the high note comes in.
I was never a soprano. I was always an alto.
Otherwise, the rest of it, I actually didn't mind.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, but anyway, Sass, take it away. Actually, you know what? I want to give one quick shout-out. My friend Ulim, he was playing Pokemon Go, and he takes a screenshot, and he posts it in our WhatsApp group. And my other friend Nadim, he goes, what is this, right? How does it work? So Ulim's like, well, this is how it's going to work. And I was like, no, wait. Listen to Tech Talk because Sassan's going to tell us about it.
It's actually funny because my friends were asking me how I have Pokemon Go already, like my friends Amrita, Ryan, and Anna. And I told them, just listen to the show and I'll tell you exactly how you can get in on it. So yesterday, Pokemon Go came out in Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. But people have been releasing the APK file for Android, and I don't know what the iOS file is. So whatever the exe...
It does exist, though.
Yeah. So basically you can go on Google and type in Pokemon Go APK, and you can download the APK and download it on your phone, and you can play Pokemon Go with your friends. Now, the funny parts of this whole experience, since this is kind of a new thing, having an augmented reality game actually hit the market that's really popular, Pokemon have been appearing in, the weirdest places. One place was a police station, so cops actually tweeted out saying, hey, if you want to get your Sandshrew, you don't have to actually enter the police station. You can catch it outside. Please do not enter the police station.
And it was most definitely not just one police station.
But, oh my god. I thought the funniest part about this whole thing was the pictures coming up on Instagram, on Facebook, honestly, everywhere, because everyone expected Pokemon Go to be you go to a park, catch Pokemon. But every single picture of Pokemon Go right now is people sitting on their toilets and a Goldeen coming out of the toilet. So you're like...
whoa.
That is actually a highly disturbing image that you've now imprinted into my head.
For real, Sass. Why'd you gotta go there, man?
No, but it's every single picture on Instagram right now. You see a Squirtle sitting on the toilet or a Weedle, crawling on their bathroom floor. And they're like, oh, I have to get this bug problem fixed. It's just really
That is wrong on so many levels.
I gotta say, that pun really works, but yeah, I'm with Kareem on this one, man.
I don't know. I found it hilarious. And there's other places that are taking advantage of Pokemon Go for alluring customers in, because if you get to level 5 and you start dumping your Pokemon in one spot, you can raise a gym. And my girlfriend's work, Best Buy, they're actually trying to make Best Buy one of the biggest gyms in Toronto, so people would come by and drop their Pokemon and shop over there. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's cute. Real cute.
Man, Best Buy.
Just taking customers in through Pokemon.
That's great for them, though. It's what are you doing here? I gotta catch Pokemon. Well, if you're trying to do that, you might as well buy this as well.
But for those of you who don't have Pokemon Go yet and are planning to play it right now, I'm sorry, but the servers are down right now, which is the reason why I'm not playing right now.
Yeah, y'all overloaded it, yo.
Wait, any particular region or?
It's okay, because the game was only supposed to come out in Australia, New Zealand, and Japan, but since people released the files for the whole world to get, it basically overloaded the GPS satellites and this whole system that they created. So everything has been going wrong.
Because my friend's playing in Calgary right now.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have it yet, but because you're downloading it. Because right now, if you go to your Play Store or your App Store, it'll say not available.
Not
in the country.
available in your region.
Yeah.
Oh, so I should not.
Basically, people.
No,
were like,
don't worry. We all have it at this point, and people are posting all over social media, basically sharing the file that you can download.
Yeah, but I just put him on air right now.
No,
Sorry, sorry, man. My bad.
No, it's not a bad thing. And honestly, the reason people are doing it is so they can secure their username, because those are going by really fast. I couldn't get Sass or Sassan. They were both taken.
How popular is that? Actually, Sassan's not a common name, but Sass I could see being like even abbreviations in initials.
Sassan's
right?
my email address. Sassan's never taken anywhere, so I don't know.
Well, it is now.
I know, it's so dumb. But okay, let's move on from Pokemon and move on to Snapchat, because this is actually a big one that might actually kill Snapchat. So they're releasing an update this month called Snapchat Memories, and it's for people who lost their picture that they took. So let's say you took a picture, you snapped it to your friend, and you're like, oh no, I forgot to press download, and you don't have enough time to tell your friend to screenshot it for you. Now there's going to be an app called an update called Memories, where you can go through all your previous snaps privately.
That's really weird, because I thought of it, or when I heard about it, I think I perceived it to be a little bit different. I thought it was going to be, you know how Facebook has memories, where they send you, like, 3 years ago, you posted this?
Yeah.
I thought that's what they were going to do on Snapchat.
That would be terrible, because what if you posted, like, a picture of yourself doing 9 chins or something?
Well, that was the joke. That's why I thought, I was like, oh, that's a funny, cute idea. It's terrible, but it's still funny.
I still think this is terrible, because what if it's not password protected? What if someone finds your phone and just, like, goes through all your Snapchat memory pictures? Because these are pictures you don't want people to see.
Not always anyway, right?
Yeah,
and it's kind of counterintuitive to what Snapchat was originally intended to be. You take a picture, you send it, and it disappears right after.
Yeah, because you want to make embarrassing faces. You don't want them to be saved.
Well, there's definitely going to be a lot of DPs everywhere now.
That's also what I was thinking.
This is
Like,
what I was
people
trying
who
to
do that-
avoid.
And I
Kareem.
totally mean, when I say DP, I'm totally talking about display pictures, guys.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you were talking about. But Tess, you have to address that too, because that's, as much as you don't want to admit it maybe, but that was kind of the whole point of Snapchat too.
No, but yeah. It's because people usually use Snapchat because they thought their pictures won't be locked in a cloud and then maybe leaked one day. They
Yeah.
thought it was going to a place, sent once, and then deleted forever.
Right.
So we don't want this whole iCloud thing to happen all over again.
Well, you don't want Snapchat. The whole point of Snapchat was to have pictures disappear after a certain time.
Exactly.
So why would I want an app to then bring it back to me? Because it's like, no, I sent that either in privacy or for fun. Like, I don't want every picture, and if I wanted it, if I missed it, that's my fault, no?
Yeah, use your camera, use Instagram, use Visco. What are you doing? Don't use Snapchat for this.
I think, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's the selfie thing that people really like, because and I know, like, people will use the selfie on
like the
Snapchat
dog.
because they like the angle that it's at, because with the normal camera, it'll shift and reverse, right? So then, like,
Oh,
you actually
that's
get
what
a
you
real
mean.
image. So I can see why people would want that, but even then, it's like, really, to give up your privacy for that?
Yeah, I really hope you can, like, disable it on your account. That'd be a smart thing to have. But anyways, let's move on to some Canadian news.
Ooh.
BlackBerry's gonna stop making their classic smartphone, which is actually kind of big because they re-released it 2 years ago, and now they're canceling it again. So I don't know what BlackBerry's doing. I know they're like trying to get on the Android market, making Android phones now, but this is the phone that most of us grew up with. I see Kareem over here nodding his head throughout this entire conversation. Kareem, tell us what you want to say.
No, finish. So then I'll say what I gotta say. I'll add my little 2 cents.
Okay. Well, basically, this is the phone that we've all had. I know Zayn was so obsessed with his BlackBerry throughout all of university.
That is so true.
You guys know me.
And Kareem, I saw you had yours for like maybe a month or two.
I've gone through like 3 or 4 Blackberries at this point.
Okay, well, to have
Only?
it gone.
I know. I went through the Classic, the Curve, the Bold, and then the Z10.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's a lot. I only did the Torch and I hated it, and I just moved up to Android.
My dad did the Torch. and that turned me off from the torch. So I said, forget it.
I liked it because it had the keyboard and it was touchscreen. But I don't know. I hated how there was no apps because it was BlackBerry.
So yeah, tell us what was happening then.
So it's basically gone now, and they're focusing on Android. That's the whole gist of it. But there's been a lot of new commercials that BlackBerry's been releasing saying how during 9/11, like this was a big one, when everyone was panicking on their phones, texting everyone, all cell service was down except BBM. Or during the wars, people were sending stuff through BBM and how BBM is so secure and it's always up, and how great BlackBerry is. But now they're removing one of their most popular phones, and I guess it's for a money reason, since no one's really buying BlackBerries anymore. But
What's the phrase? If you can't beat them, join them. Hashtag Kevin Durant.
well, that's basically it. Samsung is the one that really killed BlackBerry.
You know you like that hashtag, Kareem. Sorry, complete side topic.
I had a whole thing I was about to go off on, and
No.
Zayn completely took it from me when he said that, and now...
This is Tech Talk. Stick to Tech Talk.
Oh my gosh, Kevin Durant, buddy.
Tech Talk. Continue, Sass.
Oh my god. But speaking of privacy, I want to move this on to something big that's actually been happening. So, you guys, I know Kareem especially, because I just saw him doing it right now, internet shopping.
Huge. Big thing.
So, like, on Amazon, on ThinkGeek,
90% of my life.
eBay. But have you ever done it on your phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
You bought stuff on your phone?
eBay.
Oh, okay. Well, this whole point is that people are actually not using their phones for buying stuff. But I guess, Kareem, you're just like the odd one out.
People also don't use their phones for Siri, but I do that too.
That is true. You're the first person I met who actually texted people with Siri.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Why not just like pull out your phone and actually just swipe?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You actually talk to Siri. What if she gets it wrong? But yeah, that was a big thing because I actually don't use it for buying stuff online because I feel like I don't see everything, and I get like scared that it's not really secure, or something bad's gonna happen, or someone's gonna steal my credit card number. I don't know.
That's why I use PayPal.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm always scared of being on my phone because when I'm on my browser, I can look in the corner and see that lock, and that little tiny lock tells me that this is actually Amazon or PayPal or whatever. I don't know.
So a little tiny lock is what gives you your sense of security?
Yeah, because you can click on it, it'll tell you who it's from.
Okay, well, so e-commerce on your phone is what you're talking about, because what about things like movie tickets on the Cineplex app, for example? Would you consider that purchasing online?
Ooh,
Or
good
using your
point.
phone?
Oh, that's actually true.
Because I've done that a lot.
This is like Real Talk 2.0 right now.
I've actually never done any of that, though.
Or like StubHub, Ticketmaster, things like I've bought concert tickets with my phone.
Yeah.
I've never done any of that. I always like say I have to do it on my computer. And even
Because you
if
buy
it's
all
on
your
the-
zoo tickets.
My zoo tickets? No, I bought one pass, and you're still all over it for that. It's a 1-year pass, $60. What's wrong with that?
We ain't even gonna get into that right now. We ain't gonna get into it. Nah, we ain't doing that. Get back to Tech Talk.
The last thing I want to touch on is how Sony hasn't been talking about their Vita. So I'm starting to think it's actually dying out.
You know what's funny? I was watching House of Cards like 2 nights ago,
Yeah.
and he started playing his PS Vita,
What?
which was perfect product placement, because the moment I saw it, I thought to myself, I wonder what happened to my PSP. I wonder if I should get a PS Vita.
Honestly, when I bought my PSP, I played it for a week, put it in my closet, and never touched it again.
You have a PSP?
Exactly. I didn't even know until you said that what happened to my PSP, and I was like, I have one too. Oh my god, it's in my closet at home.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just thought it was a terrible console. Like, Nintendo was always the one that was more fun to play.
To be honest, I really enjoyed having my PSP during the time of PlayStation 2 because PS2 controllers were wired and the wireless ones were rancid.
Oh wait, so you use your PSP as a controller on the PS2?
No.
Oh.
I used my PSP as a PSP while I was in bed under the covers. When my mother used to tell me go to bed, and I would just play my PSP under the bed, like under the covers.
I can do that. I needed my Nintendo stuff. 'Cause I don't know, Nintendo games are always more fun on the go. You have to admit, like, there's Pokemon, there's Animal Crossing, there's Mario games, whereas PS Vita's, like, story-based games. I can't get into that when I'm out.
So
And-
then, is it more... Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Is it more suited to the type of game that you're playing then?
I guess so. Like, Nintendo's more casual, honestly. Like, even
Nintendo's a
their
lot
story-
more casual, like a million times more casual.
Like, even their RPGs, like...
Zelda.
Yeah, you can pick that up whenever you want and play it. You don't
Nintendo
always
brings
have to
you
be-
happiness.
Exactly.
It's
Whereas
true.
Sony's like a cinematic experience. It's all about the graphics and it's all about the story, and you can't leave it. You need to be playing it nonstop.
So wait, what was your point in saying that PS Vita is not being talked about?
Well, they basically didn't talk about it at E3, so I don't know what's happening to it. I think PlayStation might just give up on it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
big tings.
Yeah.
Big tings indeed.
That's all for Tech Talk.
That's all for Tech Talk.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness.
That was
is-
good.
that
was
was
pretty
good.
insightful, actually. Like, I always learn something from Tech Talk, so, I mean, you don't hear me chime in too much.
And Pokemon Go users, I hope you now understand the game.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
This is Urban Definition. This is Urban Definition.
Welcome back again to Urban Definition. Now it's Zayn's segment, This Weekend in Toronto.
Yep, we've talked about everything that happened this week. Kareem has his hand up. So,
No, pause. Could we please acknowledge the fact that that was the happiest I've ever heard Seth. Now is Zane's pot. What's going on in Toronto?
yeah, the pressure's off him this time.
As you were
This is your
saying, Zane.
segment. You need to love it.
I do love it. It's also towards the end of our show. This is our last block, guys.
It's funny because whenever we get to these, like the final block, I'm always like, where did the time go?
Honestly, it just passes by.
It does.
And we've covered a lot of topic. But anyway,
We talk too much.
we really do. It's like it's a good thing we have a radio show for it.
I know, right?
But yeah, this weekend in Toronto. So, last weekend was Canada Day, and so if you're looking forward to a nice, long, relaxing weekend, you're not going to get one. This weekend we have the Toronto Outdoor Art Exhibition at Nathan Phillips Square. That starts on Friday to Sunday, and basically local artists come out with their art. Painting, sculptures, things like that, and you can definitely check them out. It's a free event. Just go around. There's little tents and booths. I went last year actually just to check it out for fun on a Friday after work. Really cool to see all the local talent that's out there. So definitely go out and support them. You got Taste of Lawrence at Wexford Heights, which is in Scarborough, around the pharmacy in Lawrence area to just far enough down past Warden. And it's pretty much like Taste of the Danforth. I don't know if you guys have been, but for cultures on Lawrence. So Italian, Asian, and Caribbean cultures are going to be more prominently there.
Caribbean, Kareem, we have to go.
I don't know how to comment on what you just said there. Because I'm Caribbean, I gotta go?
Yeah, because you always say, like, Caribbean food sucks everywhere. We have to find the best Caribbean food.
That's true, but that's only because we went to Trinidad and we had real Trini food, and nothing compares to it in Toronto.
Yeah, you can't really beat the experience of actually being in the country it originated from.
So how about this? We go this weekend, we write reviews for all the places we go to, and we put it up.
I'm down if you are.
I'm so down.
Sick. You also got Summerlicious, which starts this Friday until July 24th.
I already bought my tickets.
Did you really?
Yeah, man.
Damn, you already knew about this one, huh?
Yeah, $28, $38, and $48.
Good job.
Thanks.
And for those of you who don't know what Summerlicious is, it's just like Winterlicious, but in the summer. You got fixed priced menus, and you can go to a variety of restaurants and taste out a lot of their food. And as Kareem said, what are the prices again?
$28, $38, and $48.
So,
And not to knock Summerlicious, but last year I got food poisoning. So let's hope for a better Summerlicious this year, please.
yeah, make sure wherever you go, your food is cooked. Interestingly, we also have Salsa on St. Clair Avenue West.
Yeah, and there's actually some people who work at CHHA who will be taking part in it and doing some dancing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what this is, it's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It's a celebration of Latin culture with food, Latin-themed activities, and salsa dancing. And as Kareem said, people from this station will be here to go and check it out.
For sure.
Have you ever been?
Salsa?
No, it's salsa on St. Clair.
No, but I know during the summer, I believe on Thursday evenings, I'm not sure if they're doing it again this year, but at Spadina and Bloor, some salsa instructors usually meet there, and people just walking on the street all stop and are taught how to do salsa. And that's usually
really
what I go
cool.
to. Yeah, I've been to a couple of those, and it's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool, yeah. And considering Portugal won today against Wales in the Euro Cup, like, you can imagine it's going to be pretty crazy, especially with the finals of the Euro Cup this coming weekend, actually. In fact, Salsa on St. Clair would be the best place to go to celebrate with all the Portuguese fans.
On a side note, congratulations to Portugal, but can I please have, like, a relaxing drive home this evening, please?
Honestly, on the drive here, there were Portugal flags on every single car. I was surrounded by Portuguese fans. Like, if I said anything else, if I had, like, any other country's flag, probably even the Canadian flag up, people would probably be like, boo, go away, get out of here. Like, I did not know we had so many Portuguese fans. I'm just going to say that.
I grew up in a Portuguese community, so this is nothing new for me, but at the same time, it's like almost 9 p.m., and I'd really like to just relax on my drive home, please.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's too hot, so I'm forced to wind all my windows down. So please, guys, I'm just begging you.
Well,
one quiet drive home.
We'll be ready for a great party this weekend. And we also have, finally, Afrofest, which is also happening 2 days this week. Remember, I don't know if anyone here remembers, we talked about this at the way beginning of when we started the show.
Beginning.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. This was like February, March-ish.
That was one of the quote-unquote demands that Black Lives Matter Toronto had petitioned for when they orchestrated the sit-in at the Toronto Police headquarters.
And it was going to be for 1 day only. Now it's for 2 days at Woodbine Park, and you're celebrating African culture and music. There's going to be workshops, live music and dancing, and of course a marketplace with over 70 vendors. So the food is going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I got a family friend who's performing at Afrofest this year. So,
Oh, who are they?
her name is Asha. She also
Asha what?
she went to Ryerson with us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to stop by and have a glance. Or no, I'll probably try to figure out a way to be able to at least go and see her perform.
Definitely, yeah. So that's what's happening this weekend. What are you guys up to?
Did you not just listen like 5 minutes
Well,
ago?
I
when
know you're
Sassan
going to
said-
go to Taste of Lawrence, but what else are you going to do?
Oddly
Apart
enough-
from that, guys. Yes, I know you guys said Taste of... Come on.
Oddly enough, boring enough, actually. On Saturday, I have a meeting with a writer to discuss some potential pilot projects that I will be working on with her. And then I guess meeting up with Sassan and getting that done.
Cool.
Oh, and then Sunday, I got to take Annie to, I'm working on her obedience training.
Nice.
So that sounded really weird.
For those of you again, Annie is Kareem's dog.
Yeah, I'm not trying to teach a human obedience training. That'd be really weird. So yeah, I'm taking my dog to Humber Bay Park for a obedience class.
Cool.
Yeah.
So she can stop peeing inside the house, right?
Listen, Annie is housebroken, all right? The only thing Annie is not good at is doing anything other than sitting. When I tell Annie, like, paw, remember, like, Annie's a Jack Russell Terrier, and they're naturally bred, or their natural instinct is to hunt all the time. So this past weekend when I took her to the cottage, she kept wanting to hunt the chipmunks,
Nice.
which is not a good thing. So we got to figure out a way to calm that down. So hopefully obedience training will work.
Cool. And Sass, what are you up to apart from Taste of Lawrence as usual?
I actually have no idea what I'm doing this weekend, but I'll probably check out all these things that's going on.
Sassan never knows until like 20 minutes before he has to make plans.
That's very true.
Yeah,
That's very true.
people
I've never
just summon me, and I just go.
Yeah,
every time Sass, what are you doing right now? Because we need this done. Oh, I'm out. Okay. Yeah, I just have to go out right now. You have to? Well, it just happened. True. That's Sassan, man. Always on the go.
Yeah, that's true. What are you up to, sir?
I am going to Calgary to visit said friend that I mentioned on air today. I'm leaving tomorrow night. I'm going to be gone until Tuesday.
Does it not feel like this guy's always traveling these days?
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, he just went to Cuba, then New York, then where else did he go?
Somewhere up north.
It's Tobermory, Ontario, guys.
Yeah, that place.
Oh my god.
And now Calgary.
Hold on. These are the guys who actually travel the most. They just don't say where they're going.
I will mute your mic right now.
do it right now.
I will mute your mic,
Kareem,
sir.
how often do you go to Chicago?
Does not matter.
How often
It
do you
doesn't
go?
matter.
Like twice a month?
Doesn't matter.
Twice a month?
I don't know
At
what
the
you're
least
talking-
once a month?
I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know what you're talking
This
about.
is a guy who does that. Sassan, you just went to Montreal like a few months ago. Granted, you don't have a car to go very many places, and you probably won't want to take the bus. But Kareem, you definitely travel more than I do. And you just said you went to the cottage last weekend. Case in point, I think Kareem travels the most. Just never mentions it.
Okay, my point is that it just feels like you've been traveling a substantial amount. Traveling for me is like a normal life. For you, it's like, I'm doing this, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing this, now I'm going here, now I'm going there, now I'm going to Chicago. Actually, no, not Chicago. New York.
That's pretty much what you just do.
True. And, okay, before the show ends, I did want to mention this. I was going to try and talk about this at the tail end of Tech Talk, because it has nothing to do with Tech Talk, though.
You got
It's
a
more-
minute, so...
It's Comic Talk. Marvel just announced that the character who will be taking over for Iron Man, Tony Stark, will be a black female teenager.
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it should be dope.
Good job for the progressives out there.
I'm scared, though.
Why?
Not for the character, but just for the plot.
Oh, okay, that like story-wise then?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
And for those who know me, they know that Iron Man is, like, bar none, my favorite comic book character
I
of,
thought
like...
Gambit was.
No, I love Gambit. I do love Gambit, but Iron Man is my absolute favorite.
I feel like every week it changes.
No, never does, never
totally
does.
does.
Like
You
I
agree with
said,
me, Zaz?
I agree.
Every week he says this version is my favorite.
No,
that
What
version
about
is my favorite.
Spawn?
that is completely different. That's a completely different universe.
Fine.
Oh, so now it's universe based.
No, okay,
All
fine.
right, you know what, Kareem? I'm going to give you a week to stick to one, and you choose it and you stay with it.
Forget y'all. Anyways, as we typically say, guys, have a fun and fantastic weekend. If you're gonna go out, I know UFC 200 is on Saturday night,
Oh,
so that'll
we're
be
going to that.
dope. Yeah. Just be safe. Don't drink and drive. Nobody needs to deal with that. Once again, to all of our Muslim listeners, Eid Mubarak. Have a fantastic week, guys. Take care. Anything else?
Nope. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Peace. CHHA.
This is Urban Definition.